Good morning and welcome out to another day of trading. Ooh, I'm excited. You know, yesterday was such a flat channel. Today, I'm hoping that we get some trends and some easy trades. We're trading the Euro US, and this morning, this thing has tipped over hard. It has really sold off. So the question is it gonna backlash here? As hard as the sell-off is here, I don't know. So let's maybe wait for this thing to set up just a little bit. It's only 10 to 7. Give it another 10 or 15 minutes, a couple more candles, and see where this thing goes. Okay, so this thing, there's a massive tug of war going on right here between the buyers and the sellers. They just can't decide which way to go. I think the sellers are winning. So I'm gonna hop in short and see where we go. Let's jump in right here. Whoa. Like to be trading that many. All right, and let's get in right there. All right, so there is a nice pullback going on. So we kind of bought right at the trough, or sold rather, right at the trough. And our take profit is low. I think we've got as good a chance as getting stopped out as we do making it, but until we get in and get feeling where the market is, we really just don't know. So we'll let this thing ride, see where it goes. If we end up taking profit, great. We'll probably have a whip back. If it comes up and hits this stop loss, then we're definitely gonna turn around and sell and go short from there. All right, this thing has kind of come up and going back down, and I'm really just playing with the flow of the deal. I know a lot of traders trade off news and a ton of fundamental or technical analysis, and while I think that's important and you should, if that's how it helps you see the chart, I probably enjoy trading a little bit more off of feel on the flow of the market. And it's not right or wrong, it's all kind of a guess at the end of the day, but that's how I seem to make better decisions. You get too many analysis on there and it just gets confusing and you really don't know what to do. And so I would suggest whatever way you decide to trade, whether it's fundamental or technical, don't get it too jumbled. Don't get too much on there, or you'll talk yourself out of every trade, or you'll talk yourself into a bad trade that really just doesn't make any sense, but the lines are crossing and so you have to go. All right, this thing is now on the climb. We definitely have this pullback going on, hit a big long bottom, come back up. We're 9 pips out of the money. I'm confident this thing will close. And when it does, we'll do a quick turnaround on the double down. And I still think I'm gonna short because I do believe this will probably turn and then head straight back down into the money for us. All right, we're about a minute and a half away from opening bell on the New York session. And this is really when we'll probably see the next big push. Our volume currently is around, let's look here, 142. So we have low volume right now, but it's gonna pick up and we're probably gonna see the 300 or 400 range. And then this thing will either just continue to shove or the overall trend will push this thing and go down. Interesting thought. Trading Forex, you do kind of keep a look on other stocks and markets that are going on. Tesla is obviously a hot one. Everyone trades, everybody's interested in it. And there was the accident where the car got caught on fire, and the original report said that it took 4 hours to put that fire out. Well, the fireman on the site actually said it only took 3 or 4 minutes to put the fire out. Oh, we just got closed out. And I knew that was going to happen coming right into the closing or the opening bell. But anyway, the fireman said it only took 3 or 4 minutes to put it out, but they waited 3 or 4 hours for the car to cool to be towed. And I thought that was interesting how the media spun that poorly. And I'm not saying it was good that it took that long to cool, but it's way better than 3 or 4 hour fire to put out. So anyway, food for thought. All right, well, this thing has climbed. We're gonna hop back in. We're gonna go 2 units. We're gonna do a quick double down and see if we can't get this thing come back on the feedback. So let's just jump in right here. Boom. There we go. So our stop is up here at the 52 range, and our take profit down here is the 32 range. So that was a pretty big pull, good climb. We were teetering on it right as the market opens. The market is now open. We're gonna probably see an influx of volume and pushing in one direction or the other. I think it's gonna pull back, and we've got a pretty good chance of hitting this double down and at least taking our first profit for the day. All right, so maybe this thing is going to work out for me on this first double down. I was kind of getting a little bit worried. I mean, that's a big old blue candle right after the open. And then honestly, I just think the overall trend is down, and here we go. Look at this thing going down. Oh, holy cow. I mean, it is like, boo! So whether it hits or not on the profit, I mean, on this candle, trend is definitely in the right direction of going down. Lots of crazy news out there. Earnings reports are coming out. There's a ton. And I don't really pay attention to that news. I just know that it's happening. More often than not, I take my news in later in the day after I'm done trading. That way I'm not emotionally attached to the news. Because I'm telling you, if you're trading off news and what someone says on the internet, you're just going to be a scattered mess. At some point you have to find out what works for you, make the trades based on that, and then be aware of what's going on. I like to follow Tesla, and I think it's been fun to watch this whole crypto thing. Good gravy. The whole Dogecoin. I'm going to start calling it Dogcoin though, because I like dogs and it makes sense to call it Dogcoin. But this whole Dogcoin thing is literally going off, and so, I mean, it's fun to watch. I'm not personally vested in it. I don't own any, although I think I want to, just because I want to be part of the movement. I want to be part of the trend. I'm a trender. So anyway, we're going to keep an eye on this first double down, see if we can't get closed out and move on to another position. But quite the morning. Finally, we're seeing some volume and some volatility. And yesterday and Friday were like these channel trades, and it was boring. And man, I was like taking naps in between trades, and now you're at least kind of excited. There's like some ups and downs, and like it's a little bit more fun. All right, so it's definitely starting to tip back over. We're showing some red candles. We're kind of back to where our break-even point is right now. So we're gonna let this kind of saute. But I did want to kind of pull out and bring up like just to watch while we're kind of sitting here doing nothing, waiting for this thing to come back around. You know, Tesla was so low. It was down here in the low 700s, and here we are back up to 732. I think there was some bad news. It was almost like sabotage. And, you know, I'm not really a conspiracist, but when they said it was a 4-hour fire, I think a whole lot of people were like, oh my gosh, this is horrible. Everyone's just gonna die. And that was clearly not even the case. And then they said that that it was in self-driving mode, which actually has also been proven wrong. I believe it was Elon Musk that tweeted the car was not in self-driving mode and actually didn't have full self-driving even installed in the car. And so I guess my point of this is, you know, the news and the media, they can spin whatever story they want, and that's fine. It could have all been correct, it could have all been wrong, it doesn't really matter. But when it comes to trading, you can kind of get wrapped up in that emotion and make decisions based off of the media. And that's why I think sometimes it's dangerous to consume too much media while you're in the middle of trading, because it's funny how what is just like right now, oh my gosh, 24 hours later is like, oh, well, that's kind of how most car accidents happen. And it's horrible that these guys got in a car accident, but they were like one of how many car accidents that happened on that day. But because it was a Tesla, the news just blew it out of weird cuckoo, you know, they just blew it out of proportion. And so anyway, something to think about. But I mean, Tesla, it's kind of capping out right here. This would be kind of a fun actual stock if you had a boatload of money to have been day trading, because as this thing ramped up, there's no question there would have been a fun little short right here to catch that backlash. But you know, that's a little bit more intense for me in my budget. You know, that's why I like the Forex. So anyway, back to the Forex scenario. This thing kind of came back up. It's going back down. It's really just hovering for me around my break-even point on this first double down. We just popped into the money a little bit. I think it's still going to push down, and whether it gets all the way down to here or not, I'm a little on the fence, you know. Depends on if this is the pullback and now our new trend for the day is going to go like this. If it does make a turn and get stopped out, my next move probably will be looking to go long instead of short. Even though this morning trend shows it going down, I think potentially since the market opened and we've gotten, you know, rock and rolling on the New York session, maybe this trend is going up across here. But in many ways, I can't help to think that maybe we're establishing that channel, and this thing will just sit here and ping pong into this area like it has the last few days, because there's really not a lot of excitement going on in the market, let's be honest. All right, this thing is definitely kind of pushing up at this point. We've got a higher highs, higher lows. I mean, standard chart reading 101. Even though when we started out, there was this whole like, right? So we have gone short, whoops. So I've gone short twice, doubled down. We're now into we're still in the second, and we're still kind of around the break even. We're only 3 pips out of the money, but if the chart does move in the direction it looks like it will, this thing will move up, hit our stop loss, and then really, rather than playing the feed or the pullback, because I don't think it's strong enough with the upward trend, I think what I'll probably do is wait for it to come down, hit a bottom out, go long, and see if we can't at least save the day with the third double down. That's the position we're in right now. I mean, it's actually pulling back. It's pulling back to break even. Part of me wants to flip the script as it hits even, close out my short position and go long. But I mean, really, we're still just guessing, right? Like, we have all this tug of war going on between the blues and the reds, and this could easily debunk that philosophy and go straight down negative. I mean, look at that big tall tail on this candle. Now it's even starting to show a hint of red. Oh, it's back to blue. But you get the point. Nobody knows. Ain't nobody knowing what's gonna go on. So that was a big tall tail on that thing though. So oddly enough, we're literally at the break-even point. If I was gonna flip the script, dump it, and move into a new position of long, that would have been the time to do it. But I'm gonna hold out because I still think we're in the middle of this 20 pip corridor. It's 50-50 at this point. We're at the 50-yard line. That's it. All right, guys, it happened. We got stopped out. We knew it was coming, right? It wasn't even a question on whether it was coming. We were just pretending like it wasn't gonna happen. So now all we're doing is looking for a little bit of feedback back into this trend line. And then at this point, we're going long with another double down, which is totally fine. You hate to go 3, 4, 5, 6, but you do what you got to do. This is where we roll up our sleeves and get to work and grind this thing out. It's obvious the trend line is going up. So it's 8:30. We got plenty of time left in the morning. We just got to wait for this thing to come back down into this neck of the woods, somewhere in here. All right. We didn't quite get back to the line, but I do think this thing just wants to go up. So I'm gonna jump in. I know this is risky. This is a gut feeling. Jump in with 4 contracts. This will be my 3rd double down. And just let this thing go. This is probably a risky trade because there's not a lot of reason why it would go to this new level, but this thing wants to go up this morning. Ever since 6:30, this thing has done nothing but climbed and crawled and pushed to go up. So the market wants to do what the market wants to do. It puts our stop loss down in this neck of the woods, so I still think it gives us enough breathing room. But if this thing wants to go up, who are we to stop it? Let's join the party. Let's get in the game and join the party and go up. And see if we can't snag it on this now 3rd double down. And if we hit it, we will feel good that we ended this day with at least 1 trade. Look at that. See, we're 1 pip in the money. It feels good, right? Let's go. Let's go. You can do it. Come on, big monkeys. Yeah. Just can't seem to make heads or tails of this yet this morning. It's crazy. I mean, everything was pointing up. You know, and to be honest with you, it still is. Remember the trend line that's in the big black bar right there? We knew it was gonna come back to that. I just knew it. So when this thing gets stopped out here in 1/2 pip, I'm gonna turn in 8K and go long again in this position and see if it can. Oh, see, there it goes. Okay, so let's hurry and pick up. Because I think this thing's gonna just grind back up. Oh, we didn't even quite hit it at the bottom, but at least we got it. So now we've bounced off that line. Look how perfectly that bounced off that line and came back up. So is this thing gonna go down again? Oh, you dirty rat. Okay, guys, this thing bounced. It bounced hard. It sold off hard. Then it bounced hard. It had a big long tail up. Came back down. Now it's blue. I'm like 50-50. This thing's seriously right around the 50-yard line for me because I'm in at 2047. So it's like literally right there. If it follows the trend line, we may grind just below it, unless we move the trend line, obviously, which we can do. And then I think we got a chance. I think we got a chance of closing this thing out. But I really, I mean, this thing could go up or it could go down. What's our volume on this candle? 711. So we've got smoking good volume, like rawr. So this thing could shove 10 pips either way in seconds at that kind of volume. So what the heck is going on here? Do you see this? Look at this, grande, red, blah, blah, blah. We're blue, 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 blue. And then we go, bing. Here we go. This is why you don't trade with money you can't lose. This is why you manage your capital while you're trading. But I mean, it's pretty clear this thing's probably gonna stop out again, and I will now be in a position where we have to double down again from 8 positions to 16. What the snap? All right, it stopped out. I apologize for not being on the camera when it went, but it did stop out. So now what do? Well, what I'm going to do is just kind of hang back, watch this thing, and see if it starts to move in the up direction and we get some momentum that way. I feel like going long is the right position, but I'm now just a little bit more hesitant about just throwing darts at the charts. All right, we're halfway through this, and I think we've bottomed out. It's time to get back in, get that long position working for us. So this will be 16. And we're gonna go 10 and 10. All right, let's hit this. All right, so we're in. Our loss is down here, deep in the red, deep in the end zone of the competitor, but our take profit's not too far off, really. So let's kind of open this up just to really see where we're at. You know, it's kind of spinning, but I got the feeling, you know, that this thing's gonna grind up, show us where we, you know, and get to a take profit zone. Look at this right up here. It's not that big of a stretch to make this happen. So we're now in the fourth double down. We're holding 16 contracts. I don't know if this thing's gonna go, but at least it's blue. At least it's blue. It's grinding hard. Green numbers. We're 2 pips into the money, which is literally nothing, but you know, when you've doubled down 4 times, it kind of feels like a small win. All right, guys, this thing is literally just bouncing around break even. If I get it just a little bit in the green, even like a pip, I'm gonna close it because I don't really like sitting on contracts overnight. And then what we'll do is we'll have to open back up tomorrow morning at 16. We'll still be at that level of the fourth double down, but I really kind of want this thing just to, if we get it back to even, we'll close it, we'll clean it up, and then live to, oh, here we go. Here we go, here we go. I'm just gonna close this right there. Okay, so we're out, we're cleaned up. We actually made like $1 on that, doesn't even matter. What we wanted to do is close that position out at break even, and then tomorrow morning, we start over at the double down round of 16 contracts, which is the 4th round. Yeah, I had to look at my little chart there. It doesn't even matter if this thing shoots up and would have closed out. I don't really like to hold stuff past 10, 10:30 because the volume tips over. It's really unpredictable, and really it's just not a great trade anymore. So we were able to break out of it, clean it up, be done, and we'll start tomorrow at 16 contracts. Make sure you come back tomorrow to see how the 16 contracts go, if we get it, or if we have to go to 32, 64, whatever it turns out to be. Anyway, we'll see you tomorrow.